And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and we're in the Mighty 1090 studio with Captain Derek Waldman from the Red Rooster 3, talking long-range fishing, talking fishing in January 2015.
How cool is it that in January we're talking about yellows and bluefin and 40-pound halibut on the coast.
300-pound tuna, wahoo, the whole deal.
It's all good, man. We're having a great time, and we'd love to have you be a part of the great time. Give us a call this morning. We'd love to hear from you. Been a busy morning, lots of fun with Captain Derek on here, and we would love to have you join us this morning. If you want to get through to Let's Talk Hookup, again, 858 area code 457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can reach us toll-free. That toll-free number is 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. Your chance to not only get through, talk to Captain Derek, but also your shot at such a cool prize. We mentioned a couple times at the beginning of the show, but one lucky caller today at the end of the show is going to win a brand new AFTCO aluminum Alejos belt. It's a really nice belt from AFTCO, as well as a pair of those AFTCO long-range short pump gloves. Really cool prize pack for one lucky caller. We sure appreciate our good friends up at AFTCO hooking us up with that awesome prize.
The people at AFTCO are such great people, and Bill Shedd and the whole group do so much for fishermen, too, behind the scenes, just to keep our opportunities to go fishing. And we're very, very thankful, not only for the great products from AFTCO, but also for their tremendous support of the fishermen and fishing industry. Another great place to support the fishing industry is Western Outdoor News, loaded with great information. And this year they have a little year-in-review recap with lots of big cow tuna and wahoo and the big picture of that those Opa. Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Brandon Bono from the tackle store would also like it be known that his photo is in there for his rare catch of gaffing the Opa in the bay in San Diego. Yes, he wants to know in bold print. He wanted to make sure that you were made aware of that his photo was in there in bold print.
His photo is in the year-in-review in bold print.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that you were made aware of that. So.
Okay, way to go, Brandon. So that would be reason enough to buy Western Outdoor News.
Yeah, but I can't think of a better one.
Pictures? Are you kidding me? Come on. So check it out. This week's edition of Western Outdoor News, always loaded with great information. Scott Sherman's on the line. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, morning, guys. Great show.
Morning.
Thanks, Scott. Happy New Year.
Hey, best tournament coming up. You know, we got the Fifth Avenue sponsoring second place again this year.
That's right. Are we going to talk a little smack now?
Well, I figure Rick can look forward to winning the sponsorship that Fifth Avenue provides. That's for sure.
Perfect. Second place. And what you're saying is Scott Sherman and Captain Clower is going to win first place that Fisherman's Landing Tackle provides.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I don't plan on ever going down to Sherm. That being said, if I do and it's with second place, I'm going to be all right with it.
Yeah, but he's got a pretty good partner, though.
That's the truth.
You got the Bay Bass man extraordinaire.
Doug Kern on my team, man.
Well,
are you kidding me? I mean,
too,
what are we worried about?
That's true.
Yeah, come on. I put Al and myself against you guys anytime. So
there we go. Game on. Are you going to come down to? You going to come down to the pre-event over at Dana Landing and Fastlane Kayaks?
Yeah, I heard about all the going on down there. I was thinking about trying to work it into my schedule, come down and say hi, and
January 17th.
Get a couple of questions and see Benny and the guys again. You know, it's always a good time.
Oh yeah, that'll be a great one for sure. Well, good. Well,
we'll look forward to fishing with you, Sherm.
And we want to remind you too. There's one place to go for anglers for insurance, and that's Fifth Avenue Insurance. They insure my boat. They insured a lot of our listeners' boats. The place to go for the people that know their stuff.
No doubt about it.
I appreciate it, guys. And I had a question for Captain Derek.
Go for it.
Shoot.
Yeah, I've never caught big tuna on a large, long-range boat like that. Most of the time it's been on smaller boats and catching big tuna. And I know with a smaller boat you can use the boat to your advantage sometimes when the angler starts getting tired.
Yeah.
Is that – do you ever use a boat of your size to help the angler sometimes?
We have skiffs on board if need be. If you get spooled, we have to throw backup out. And on the rare occasion, if it's the last fish of the trip, and you're the only one hooked up, we can. But it's a little bit difficult if you have 5, 6, 7, 12 people hooked up at a time. You can't move the boat.
Can't drive because the fish are going in different directions.
Yeah, but we do have skiffs on board. We have 2 12-foot Livingstons with brand new 9.9 horse Mercuries on the back, and from time to time we'll put them in the water and
follow the fish.
Yeah, send a licensed captain out with you and drive you around and catch it by skiff, and it's a blast.
May not necessarily do it in the same way you're talking about using the boat as in chasing down the fish, but the long-range crews have certainly perfected the technique of using the boat itself as a point of leverage, basically fishing the rail. The process has gotten so down how to get leverage wherever the fish is at during the fight, and that's the thing that I keep saying, like we were talking about having the guy coaching behind you, like that doesn't just mean, push the lever forward or turn the handle here. It's, hey, your back looks like it's not in a good position. Why don't you put the rod in your waist, and why don't you put the front hypalon right here, right where I'm showing you, and scoot up a little bit. You've got the ultimate coach in the world showing you how to use every piece of it to your advantage.
No doubt about it.
How many times I'm sure have you seen a lady for the first time, a guy who's never been fishing before, but just, stand with the rail, hook a giant fish, but then with proper coaching, no problem putting a fish of any size on the boat, even with next to no technique.
Yeah, exactly. And if they listen to what we tell them, you'll get it in no time. And, me personally, having back injuries and everything, I use the rail all the time.
Rail
Put the rod under your arm and let that take the brunt of the force. And if you have the right rod, it'll come up lickety-split.
Right rod, good reel with lots of power in the rail. Anybody can get it. You just got to turn the handle, move with the fish, take line when they let you, and next thing you know, they're going to be on the deck.
Exactly.
Hey, thanks.
Well, I like what you said about if they listen and do what you tell them to do. I mean, I credit myself and being a decent fisherman, and all that comes from all the years I spent on the boats and listening to everybody around me and trying to learn something from everybody, and eventually it takes hold. So, well done. Thank you, guys.
All right,
thank
Scott,
you.
thanks a lot for the call this morning. Happy New Year to you and the team over at Fifth Avenue Insurance. Appreciate that.
All right, thanks. Same to you guys.
All right. Appreciate that very much. Hey, next week I want to mention we have a great lineup for you next weekend on Let's Talk Hookup, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Mr. Bill Varney, surf fishing expert extraordinaire, going to be here talking about surf fishing and all the great techniques and all the different clinics he does. So don't talk a lot about surf fishing other than with Gundy every Sunday morning. Gundy gives us the tips, but Bill does a lot with surf fishing community, and a lot of our listeners love surf fishing. The next Sunday, a big day. Once a year, we get to have Dave Pfeiffer, who's the president of Shimano American, the big guy in the United States here. We get to have him because he's our buddy and our friend, and he comes in graciously and spends a couple hours with us every year, and next Sunday is the day. So that's a big weekend of shows next Saturday and Sunday right here on Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
All right, well, let's jump back into the phones because they are packed up. Everybody wants to talk to Derek. How about this time we talk to Don, who's calling us from Woodland Hills this morning. Don, good morning. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, Captain Derek, since you talked about chunk fishing, which is already my first question, what would be your go-to outfit for wahoo? And do you like fishing the bomb or do you like fishing bait?
Well, I like fishing the bomb and jigs. I would have something like a Cal Star 700 heavy or medium heavy and a high-speed 4.0 size reel with 50 to 60 pound on it. I personally like using those Baja specials because they withstand the time and my abuse to them. And
easy on the pocketbook too, which is nice.
Exactly. And personally, I don't wire my jigs. I like to do like a bimini and straight tie. So I make a 2 or 3 foot bimini and straight tie with my 50 or 60 pound.
With monofilament.
With monofilament.
Okay. Wow.
That's how I like to fish wahoo.
Okay.
But if you don't have enough jigs, you better wire them up.
You better wire them up. and are you talking surface iron?
I like to use Raiders.
Raider jigs? Okay.
Raider jigs or anything chrome. Those Tatty 4.0s are real nice. And Tatty 15s.
Single hook, treble hook?
Single hook.
Single hook.
A lot of the guys are putting those big owner 5/0 stingers on the back of their jigs now, and that seems to be working.
Treble hook, right?
Working, yeah, it's treble hook, and that seems to be working pretty well also to snag them.
So you have a single hook and then a stinger.
No. They take the single off the sidewash and put on it
Put a
treble.
big treble.
I personally, I just leave the sidewash on.
Okay.
But a lot of the guys are changing over to those treble hooks, thinking it might increase their bite ratio. But what you got to remember versus a bomb versus a jig, a bomb has mylar, so they're biting the hook to begin with. Whereas in a jig, they bite the jig, and you have to wind the jig through the wahoo's mouth to set the hook.
Okay.
And you never ever swing using a jig or bomb on a wahoo. You wind until pretty much your arm falls off, or they start running the other way, and then you can kind of take a quick break.
See a lot of discussion from guys, pro and con, both about replacing what they used to use, wire, with heavy fluorocarbon, like 130-pound fluorocarbon. And some guys even talk about putting it on bombs or using it instead of wire. What are your thoughts on that? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Indifferent. It's all personal choice. And like I always say, if you have confidence in what you're using, then you're going to pay more attention to what you're doing rather than, is my knot going to hold, or is this the right thing to do? So it comes up to, what are you confident in? I've seen it used that way. I know a guy who will fish 80-pound fluoro with these weird-looking, I'm sure you've seen them, they're freshwater bass hooks. They got a long shank on them, but they're a little bit heavier gauge wire. And he fishes, that's how he fishes wahoo.
And he catches them?
And he gets them. He fishes, 40-pound with this 80-pound fluorocarbon to this giant, weird-looking, long shank bass hook. But it works.
So correct me if I'm wrong. The reason for wire is because wahoo aren't going to likely bite wire in half. Are they going to be able to bite 130-pound fluorocarbon in half?
Yes.
No problem.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of not getting that whole program.
Well, it's for obviously the abrasion resistance.
Yeah.
And some people think, if I'm using this heavier fluorocarbon, they're not going to see it. So they're kind of trying to be a little stealthy about it.
Yeah.
And what happens is, if you do get lucky enough to hook one on that particular rig with the fluorocarbon and it comes in, you have to cut the fluoro and change it, because you're going to notice it is about to break in half. It's about to get sawed through.
I'm with you. If I'm gonna not use a piece of wire, meaning it's a little bit tougher to get a bite, a little scratchy, and you're gonna fish a jig, and the jig's a little bit longer, and that's what you're gonna do. I just double up my 50-pound, tie a little bimini or a little spider hitch, put it on there, and but everybody, like you say, everybody's got their own theories about things. I can assure you that if a wahoo's open mouth touches a piece of 130-pound fluorocarbon, it's gonna go right
You're
through
done.
it.
Yeah. It's like having the sharpest of sharpest knives in your tool chest, right?
Oh, yeah.
And just, hitting that, if you hit that thing with tension on it, is it going to cut?
Of course.
But
Instantly.
that being said, how many wahoo have you seen caught on just a straight tied piece of mono? It does happen all the time.
And you're very lucky.
Yeah.
But fishing a bait, you're always fishing wire.
Yeah.
For me, anyways.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, when we're going to find out now what's going on the water, we got the man, your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen, is on the line with our FishDope.com report. Today's report sponsored by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Get the finest fish processing while you wait from your local, your long range, or your private boat trip. It's time to pre-book your processing order before you go on your next long range trip. You can do so, and you'll be the first one up to have your fish processed. You'll be ready to go just super soon after your trip returns to the landing. Just call Sean or Rosie and pre-book your processing order now. Nobody does it better than Fisherman's Processing. You can always check fishermansprocessing.com for more details. And let's get that FishDope.com report from the man, Dave Hansen. What's up, Dave?
Hey, good morning, Pete. Good morning, Rick.
Happy New Year to you, Dave.
Happy New Year, guys. Hey, is it May?
Yeah,
right?
No kidding.
This is unbelievable. Boats are turning in bluefin, skipjack, yellowtail. I don't know where I would go fishing at if I had a chance to go fishing. I would go somewhere, but it doesn't seem to matter because there's yellowtail everywhere. There's yellowtail at Clemente, at Catalina, from Rocky Point to the Coronados. I heard Brian talking about that fish off of San Clemente Pier this morning. It's just unbelievable. And then you get out there to the Tanner or the Cortez, you got a chance at some bluefin, yellowtail, skipjack, big bonita. And then the really cool thing about all that is my favorite fish to fish for, the calico bass, are being left alone because of all this other action. And the bass fishing is incredible. I was out day before yesterday with my nephew. We fished San Mateo Point, and it was epic fishing for 3 hours. Every bait was a nice calico or a sand bass, and it was flat, glassy, calm, 63-degree water. It looks just like May. I'm telling you, I can't even imagine what's going to happen this year. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah,
That's
no
awesome.
kidding.
That's so
And if you
cool.
want to stay in touch with all the current information, and, you know, you talk about summertime fishing, and those of us that love to fish year-round here in Southern California, FishDope.com is an absolute must-have, especially this time of the year, because you get reports from Dave, get reports from Mark, and all the top guys out there. Danny's on the pulse every day, and you just got to have it. Bottom line is, if you don't have it, save $20 on a new membership right now. New Year, lowercase, no space. New Year is the $20 code at FishDope.com. And Dave, would you go fishing without it?
No, that's what I was just going to say, Pete, is the really cool thing about that Fish Dope is I'm kind of different than everybody else because I'm fishing out of a different harbor every single day. One day I'm in Marina Del Rey, the next day I'm down there in San Diego, the next day I'm at Dana Point. I have to use it. I don't know how you guys are figuring out where you're going to go. I have to use it because Danny, like you said, has his finger on the pulse. He knows what's going on. I get on Fish Dope in the morning on my way to wherever I'm going and see what happened the day before. I don't have to make 15 phone calls. I can just get there. Danny tells me what's going on, and I go and catch it.
There it is.
That's cool.
FishDope.com. Captain Dave Hansen. How do we go fishing with you, Dave?
Well, if you guys want, I go with you on your boat. I teach you how to use all those electronics you bought. I teach you where to fish, how to fish, what to fish for. Give me a call at 949-374-0786 or look me up on the web at yoursaltwaterguide.com. And I'm going to go bass fishing with Kelly right now, so I'll talk to you guys next week.
All right.
Good luck,
folks.
Dave.
Talk to you. Happy New Year to you, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, let's jump into the phones who are absolutely jam-packed. This time we're going to talk to Hills, calling us from Ventura this morning. Good morning, Hills. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Rick, and Captain Derek.
Morning.
What's up, Hills?
God, I got to go on the Red Rooster 3 twice, and it was excellent. But I wanted to ask a question about bait. Two questions. First one is, if you're bringing all that bait and from our temperature water, and then you head down and the water warms up, apparently they can handle it, but does it stress them out? And then the other question is, how important is making bait? Because I hear on the long trips that I guess passengers make bait, and how do you do that, and what kind of bait are you making?
Okay, well, I'll start with the first one. Yeah, it stresses them out a little bit, depending on how many baits are in the bait tank. So if you overload the bait, what happens when you start getting into that warmer water, these sardines kind of lose their slime coat a little bit, and when they start bumping up into each other, they kind of start taking their scales off, and we call it, red boy or something like that. So to get down there and have the efficient amount of bait to fish in the warmer water coming from, 62-degree water now all the way down to 80-degree water, you load bait a little lighter than you normally would, just so they have adequate space to move around and not completely bump into each other. And making bait down there, it's a necessity. Not that we run out of the bait we have, but what's down there is what they're eating. So we can make squid, we can go and make mackerel and stuff like that, mag bay, and take that down there. And that's what they're eating at the time, and it gives you a different selection. So it's really important to make bait when you're down there, because that's what's down there, that's what they're eating on top of everything. So you make the bait in the area where they're at, and ultimately you have successful trips because of that. It's a very big thing to make bait.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
How about next up we talk to Bruce, who's calling us from Lemon Grove this morning. Hi, Bruce. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
What's up, Bruce?
Hey, I just wanted to give you a compliment, Derek, on that RSW. It is some of the best that I've had, that's for sure.
Hey, thank you very much. Put a lot of work into the system over the last couple of years.
You're kind of the specialist on the RSW on the Red Rooster.
I love it. I take great pride in having my fish come out a certain way. Coming from a couple of the other boats, I hold it to a higher standard.
Yeah.
I guess you would say, and having friends in the industry who own processing companies, fishermen and all them, and Rosie and Sean, I want to have my fish get to them and have them call me and go, that's what I want to see.
That's cool.
And it's a pride thing with me, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Bruce.
You want to know who takes care of their fish. You talk to Sean and Rosie, and they'll tell you who does it right.
Exactly.
One more thing. Exactly who's working on the boat right now?
Well, still normal guys. We got a couple new guys. Nate came over from the Fisherman 3. We still got Tommy, Fernando, Chapman, Mike, of course Andy, and just a couple new guys, but kind of the same core group.
And you'll be back on the boat real soon?
I'm going back as soon as I can. I've worn a hole in my couch, and I'm not even kidding.
You're ready. You're ready.
I'm ready.
Ready to go fishing.
Yeah. As soon as I get the green light, like I said, I am running to I'm not even going to have time to get in my truck.
I got a question. You talked about, your RSW being such a pride for you. What is it that makes it better? How does one, from the outside looking in, we're just passengers. We see it go into a hole and that's that. What is it about controlling the temperature or getting the water colder faster or keeping it at a what does one do when you say you hold yourself to that highest level? Like how does,
Well, temperature plays a big role in it. You have to maintain the temperature of the well. Especially with the RSW, and the way you handle the fish. Mm-hmm. I like to see my fish come out looking like the way they went in. A lot of guys, once it gets to the top of the dock, the passengers are sorting the fish, they roll the fish over, and it takes the color away. I personally like to walk up there and know that one side of the fish has not touched the deck, and you're looking down and you go, God, did you catch those tuna yesterday? And you're like, oh, no, I caught them a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
7 days ago, and they look the same way coming out as they do
and
going
the quality,
in.
and
the quality is just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, 858-457-1090. All the lines are full. Keep on trying. Let's go ahead and jump back on the phone.
Lou in Fullerton, you're up next. Lou, thanks for joining us this morning.
Hey, Pete, Ricky, Derek, Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year's.
You too, Lou.
Hey, you guys were talking about, I'm sorry, direct this to Derek. You said about the equipment being offered on the boat. I used to go to the Pacific side many years ago. I had my own boat and stopped fishing in the mid-'80s because of the lack of fish. But now that all this is happening, and it's going to continue to happen hopefully for the next few years, you said you offered gear on the boat. Is there a charge for the use of the boat? Use of the equipment, since most of the other captains say they have equipment available, and if there is no charge, is there a donation bucket besides the equipment?
You can get a rental package from the office. Say you're coming out on a long trip, they'll charge you, and half the stuff on the boat, if you don't come equipped with it and it's already on the boat, half the time we just go, hey man, this is what you need here. And we won't charge you.
Just take it.
Just take it.
Just pay for the line, and that's it.
Exactly. But if you're coming on the boat, brand new, no gear, there is a charge for an initial package that comes from the office. It's pretty reasonable.
And that just goes to maintaining the gear and making sure that, Spectre's not cheap and all that kind of stuff. And
exactly.
Because you're going to get on it, and it's going to be set up, ready to go.
And really, if you're going on your first long-range trip, it's not a bad idea. That way you can get the feel of what you need, and then once you get hooked, which you will get hooked, you can go buy the gear that you think would work for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have all sorts of new Akumas and Accurates on board, and if you get into a situation where the gear that the office has provided is not substantial, we run into bigger fish or whatever it may be, we have the gear on the boat. And at that point, we'll just
ready to go.
Use this. Don't worry about it. We're not going to charge you.
That's cool. Hey, Happy New Year to you, Lou. Nice to hear from you. Thanks a lot for the call.
All right. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including another big block of your phone calls. You stay tuned. More with Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
For over 5 decades, Lee Palm Sport Fishing has set the standard in long-range fishing that they pioneered long ago. The Red Rooster 3 sets a new standard of excellence. The Red Rooster 3 is one of the most modern, quiet, and fastest long-range vessels in the fleet. They have handpicked the finest crew to make your trip a memorable one. The Red Rooster 3 offers trips from 3 to 18 days and runs year-round to the best fishing spots on the planet. Ride the Red Rooster 3 once, and you'll be back again. Call the Red Rooster 3 at 619-224-3850 57, or see them on the web at redrooster3.com.
22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro is home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnights on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Native Sun. Plus, you can charter the Ultra, Spectra, and True Line. There is always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. Take advantage of the Wednesday specials on the Pursuit and Monte Carlo, and kids fish free with a paid adult on the afternoon half-day. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or book online at 22ndstreet.com.
In the past, AFCO has been known for its traditional fishing shorts. We now will also be known for our new line of next-generation board shorts. Features include 4-way stretch micro poly, pliers pockets, a stain-resistant finish, quick dry, UV protection, plus an AFCO exclusive, a bamboo charcoal inside laminate that is both moisture-wicking and antimicrobial. Available in a variety of prints and colors, these technically advanced board shorts continue AFCO's long tradition of providing the world's finest fishing shorts. Check them out today at Better Tackle Shops.
Alaska is one of the ultimate fishing destinations in the world. This is Rock Cod Rick, and every year the one trip I look forward to is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. My dad and I have been going for over 15 years, and I just can't wait to go again. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, the finest fishing charter captains in all of Sitka, and the ultimate value. Sure, I've been to others, but time and time again, nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. You can catch huge halibut like the ones we do almost every year, and salmon, well, Sitka is famous for some of the best runs in Alaska. We also get plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. And listen to this, it's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except the tips. It's truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Come and join me on the Let's Talk hookup trip in June, or just go when you can. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
Here's important news from Searcher Sport Fishing. Our 2015 schedule is now available at searchersportfishing.com. This is Captain Art Taylor. After an outstanding 2014 season, I promise our trips will fill fast. The Searcher offers great service, awesome food, air-conditioned cabins, an RSW system to preserve your catch, and plenty of room at the rail. Call Celia at 619-226-2403. That's 619-226-2403, or book online today at searchersportfishing.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
The best NFL coverage is right here.
Oh, my goodness!
San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Let's jump back into those jam-packed phone lines, Rick.
Jam-packed, they definitely are. How about Tom in Temecula getting us started again here? Good morning, Tom. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, Tom.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
What's up, Tom?
Derek, I have a question for you. I know you guys fish offshore banks quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
How does it ever come up that you would want to fish some of the inner banks there? I know there's a lot of high spots, closer in, and I know it's also tough to leave areas that are biting, and there's a lot of fish there. But how close do you ever get to the mainland, or are you limited to how close you can fish to the mainland?
Or are you talking about the lower banks, kind of like down there off of Mag Bay and stuff like that?
Exactly.
Well, obviously you don't leave fish to find fish if they're biting. And we could fish all those banks down there.
Some of those banks are pretty close to the shore, right?
Yeah, like I want to say the Golden Arch or whatever.
Golden
it is.
Gate.
Golden
yeah.
Gate. It's what, 20 miles?
Yeah.
Out offshore.
Thetis isn't
like
that far, is it?
No, Thetis isn't far at all.
Yeah.
But generally we will just, depending on the time frame, we'll look at the outer ones, which I want to say outer, you're only talking 60 miles offshore,
Mm-hmm.
some of them are not that far to begin with. Generally, it's a time constraint thing. We'll go, and on those lower banks, fishing, obviously that 2005, 6, 7 season was just, that's why people stopped going on 15 days, because why are you going to do that to catch a cow when you could just jump on an 8-day and go get cows?
It was quite an anomaly,
Yeah.
obviously, though.
Yeah, other than that, normal lower bank fishing is on the anchor. That's when your chunk fishing comes into play. That's when, the term kite jail comes out and you sit there for 3 days and you don't hook anything. And the fish are around, and if you get, 15 to 25 fish a day, you're stoked. You're pumped on it.
Yeah.
You know, but depending on where the fish are and the sign, you know, it's a time thing. Those banks, you have to sit and fish and be patient.
And that's why you need to go on a 8, 10, 12-day trip, right?
That's why if you want to fish the lower banks and you want to get big fish, that's a 15-day trip.
It's a time thing.
It's a time thing. You have to give it time. And like you said, those 3 years right there, what an anomaly. I'm very fortunate to be around and doing that at that time, because that's something I don't think we will ever see again.
Pretty amazing.
Boats coming home full of cows, 60, 70, 80 cows. I can't remember if it was the XL or the Independence who had the most. I want to say it was like 86 cows
over 200.
2. Just
imagine.
ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. Tom, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, next up, let's talk to Mario, calling from Rancho Cucamonga. Hey, Mario, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Pete, Rick, how's it going, Derek?
Morning. Doing good.
I'm a private boater. I was just listening to Pete about a week or two ago, and he was mentioning that he was interested in getting some new electronics. And so I was kind of wondering, Pete, what you're eyeballing, you know, what do you got in mind and why, you know?
Yeah, well,
good question,
you know, it's a good question. The thing is, and my electronics is great. There's Simrad electronics. I have one of the things that I will not change is the new 4G radar that I put on there. That radar is amazing.
Yes, it is.
And oh, you have the same radar?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. But I would like to, you know, they have Simrad has that new chirp technology for the sounder. And everybody I've talked to that has chirp says, "Oh my, you got to have the chirp." And
really?
That's kind of what I want to look into. Is you know, I like the Simrad, I like the Furuno, I like both of those. But with that new chirp technology, you know, kind of looking and investigating into that.
Does one need to change the brain kind of head unit, or is it just the transducer that needs to be changed, or do they need to be a combination of the two?
I think you have to do the transducer, and there's some other. I'm not absolutely sure. Yeah,
sure.
But I think there's some other part that needs to be done. I don't know that necessarily you need to change the head unit or not. You might, but
right.
Of course, the new touch technology. I have the push button technology.
That's
the new
pretty
touch
cool.
technology is pretty cool, and that's something you know, I'm thinking about too. What about you, Mario?
I have the touch screen, the NSS 9 Evo 2, and I like it. And I'm running the broadband, the chirp. I love it, but I don't know much different. I used to have a Lowrance. That was okay, but I really like the chirp. It's awesome. Now they have a dual frequency chirp, and I was wondering if that's what you're going to go to, where you can run a high and a low.
Yes, that would be so nice, wouldn't it?
No
doubt. And that's like that 4G radar, the same thing. You can
right.
run a 1.5 mile and a 3 mile screen or a 10 mile screen on the same platform.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, which is nice. So it would be really nice to have a dual frequency you can run it.
Aramar started making the 25-degree fixed beam on that dual frequency, and so anything from 300 feet down and up, which is pretty much what we fish in.
Sure.
It's covering that water column really wide, and you can see everything. It's awesome. I don't have that, and I was wondering if that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'm looking forward to the Fred Hall show.
Yeah, right.
And all the guys going to be there and seeing some of the new technology, because, I mean, I'm sure you see it on your boat. Technology changes so fast.
It's
and it
almost
gets
like
better and
every
better
day.
every year, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You can't put a new system in every year because it's just not cost effective to do so. But it is exactly like you said. It's like a computer. You know, you invest as much as you can comfortably invest, and you get the best piece of equipment, and you enjoy it for years. But then when it does come time to upgrade, it's just you instantly like, oh my, how on earth did I ever live without this? You know?
Yeah.
And it's crazy how fast things advance and how much better it can be.
Yeah. So I'll keep you posted, Mario.
Yeah, excellent. I'll probably see you at Fred Hall. I'm going to be doing the same thing.
Okay, very good. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Happy New Year.
All right. How about next up, we're going to talk to Jillian. She's calling us from Pacific Beach this morning. Hi, Jillian. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Happy New Year
Jillian.
to you. Derek was always very helpful to me when I was fishing the Excel, so thank you very much for that, Derek, and for moving on to being a captain instead. I wanted to know about your comment about jig fishing calicos. When you go out on the half-day boats here, they don't do that. So what's the criteria for using the jig? Is it something like getting down to Colonette where there are bigger fish or what? Because I can't imagine jig fishing on a half-day boat here. They just wouldn't allow it, I don't think.
Well, fishing a jig on a half-day boat here, you need to fish off the bow. It's only because the amount of people that go out on our half-day boats, you have 60, 70, 80 people in the summertime. You can't be swinging a jig around in the stern with everybody because something bad's going to happen and it's going to create an accident. So for jig fishing calicos around here, it's mostly on your personal boat, on a skiff or something, or you got to fish on the bow.
Okay.
And then, like these guys were talking about, that skiff trip that the Shogun puts on, if you really want to see some good calico fishing on the jig, get down there to Cedros and Bonitas and Sacramento Reef, Geronimo Island, where you can get up in tight where they live in those boiler rocks, and there's nothing like it in the world. And when I go catch calicos on the surface iron, when I go on other friends' boats, they yell at me because they don't want. They start screaming, jumping up and down. You're gonna get people over here, and I just get so excited.
You know, on a sport boat, you've got to put yourself in the captain's shoes. He's got to position the boat where they can make a catch for every person on board from every skill level. Whether that means you've got to be very close to the kelp and a guy can just fly line a bait 2 feet and catch a bass, or the opposite, depending on the group. Maybe they need to be outside of it so you're not in the kelp. So that being said, there's the calico bass here will bite the surface iron for sure. I mean, Pete, I know that's one of your favorites. I know really good surface iron calico bass fishing to be had locally here. You just got to be in the right position to take it. And on a sport boat, you know, that captain has to make the best decision for every passenger, so it doesn't always allow for clean lanes to make your cast with your iron, but those opportunities definitely do exist. You know, that it's a great way to target a big fish. Big bass love eating the surface iron.
Yeah, and it's so much fun watching them eat it and having like four of them following it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, I don't even have to wait.
Yeah, you know, a couple opportunities. You know, that 6-day trip on the Shogun that we're sponsoring in October is a fabulous opportunity to fish places that just don't get fished very often. And also Cedros Adventures. We have 2 trips to Cedros Adventures, one in July, one in September. And that's a great opportunity in 5 days. You get 3 days of fishing. You fly down to Cedros. You live on the island. It's a cool experience.
Very cool.
Either way you go, if you love the calico and yellowtail fish, highly recommended.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
See you, Jillian.
Happy New Year to you. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Brad in Alpine, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, Brad, good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year, guys.
You too, Brad.
Good morning.
Hey, my question was, I've caught some yellowtail, but I never caught that toad yellowtail, that 30-pounder. And are there any trips that you could recommend in, January, February, like a 2-3 day trip that would get me something like that, or would I have to go a little bit longer? What would you recommend?
I recommend going on a little bit longer trip a little bit later in the season. I would do something around August, maybe a 6 or 7 day where you can get down to the ridge, because that'll give you ample time, to target yellowtail. And on a trip like that, I'll normally try to target yellowtail for, depending on the fishing, a day to 3 days, depending what's available and what's around. You can catch, those 30, 40-pounders here locally. You can get them at San Martin. You can get them within 2-day range. But they're not going to be as plentiful if you get to the places where they normally congregate, like, Cedros and stuff like that. There's a better chance because it's a less fished area.
What's the biggest yellowtail you've ever seen on the Red Rooster 3?
On the Red Rooster 3, probably upwards of 60 pounds.
60 pounds?
That's crazy.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's a good
Pretty
one.
close.
Given conditions are the same everywhere and you're not worried about time, where do you think the best place is to catch a yellowtail over 30 pounds? Like, where is that fish most plentiful?
You know what? It depends on the type of year. I've seen huge fish caught on the ridge consistently. I want to say year before this year. And Cedros had that little bit smaller grade, 22 to 25 pounders. And
very nice ones, but
very good ones.
30, you're right, is definitely that's definitely a step up. That's a big one.
And then I've seen the year before where in the lee of the island it was those straight premium 35 to 45 pounders on the surface iron that weren't there the year before and they weren't there the year after.
Jeez.
So it all depends on the year, but
sure.
You need to get on a little bit longer trip, a little late summer, where you give yourself time to target them. And that's when you're going to find it's going to happen for you.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, good luck.
Go get it, Brad.
All right, take care.
Thanks a lot for the call this morning. Hope 2015 brings you a 40-pound yellowtail.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, let's go south down to the East Cape. Talk to our Gen Ren Sport Fishing's Captain Mark Rayer. Good morning, Mark. Happy New Year to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. I called. I wanted to wish you guys a Happy New Year's. This is a great show, man. I was listening to you guys talk about kite fishing, and it's running chills down my spine.
Right? Me too.
It's it's not our season, and it's really hard to sit here and listen to this. I'm climbing up the wall here. So
yeah, you're ready to go kite fishing.
I'm ready to go kite fishing. I wanted to comment on the chirp transducer. Well, all the new Simrad equipment is unbelievable, but we have put the new IVO NSS on both the Gen Ren boats, and we've got the chirp sounders. It's a BSM2, and oh my God, what a difference! I mean, it's just unbelievable, the difference. Yeah, you need the transducer has to be dual frequency for it to work properly, and it's good. They have better transducers than the B260 to do this with, but the old B260 that was the NSS will force it to chirp, so it's just like a whole different ball game.
So what is it? So to get the latest and greatest, and that's where I kind of got hooked on that Simrad chirp technology is on Gen Ren. When I fished with you in October, you were showing me some of the stuff on it. What do you need to get the latest technology?
You need a dual frequency transducer that will chirp.
Okay,
and
so is that made by Simrad or is it made by Airmar?
It's made by Airmar.
Okay.
And they make them for Furuno, they make them for Simrad, they make them for all the different. I'm sure they make them for Garmin. They make them for everybody.
All right.
They're kind of the guru in the transducer business.
And is that like a 1 kilowatt? Is that what you want?
I don't know how many kilowatts.
Okay.
I don't know how many kilowatts, but the one to get is like it has 3 different frequencies, but one with 2 frequencies will work also. And with the 3 different frequencies, you can use the 2 lower ones, you can use the 2 upper ones. But it uses 2 at a time, and it chirps the signal, so you're getting a broader band than you get with just a single frequency transducer.
What does chirping the single mean?
That's good. I googled it. I googled it and read all about it, but I don't know that I can explain it to you. But it's giving you a broader range, either up at the whatever part of the water column you want to target.
I think it's just kind of like the way that it shoots the beam, that comes back to you. It's the method at which the signal is sent, different from the pulse of your standard. I think it's just how it's shot out of the transducer.
Okay.
It's because you're using more than one frequency to do that, so that it gives you an advantage.
And Rick was asking about head units. Could you plug in the new technology into your current head unit if you had a Simrad NSS?
Well, you would have to buy a BSM2. Now, the BSM1 comes with the NSS. If you have your not with the NSS 12, but with the smaller units, it's built right in. And then with the 12, you need to buy a BSM1, which would be your box, which is a sounder. It's not a head. It doesn't have a screen or anything, but that's your sounder.
Sounder box, okay.
Right. Your sounder box. But then when they went to in the 12, they didn't put that sounder box built in. But then when they went to the 7 and the 8, they built it right in, so you didn't need that box anymore. You could just plug your sounder. You could plug your transducer right into the NSS, and it would work.
Okay.
Okay, but then see if you want to chirp with the old NSS, the old technology NSS, you have to buy a BSM2, which is another sounder box. which will allow your present screen to view the chirp.
Okay.
But a better way to go is to buy the new NSS. The new NSS makes the old one look like a tinker toy. I mean, it really does. It's so much more powerful. It's so much more quicker. It has so much more ability. It's, I'm watching a whale jump out here right in front of the house.
Wow, that's cool. Wow, very nice. Well, bottom line is we'll have to get the Simrad guys on the show.
Let's do that. I think that'd be awesome.
And have them talk about the technology, the new technology, because things change so much.
Fast.
And
the EVO is it's the kind, man. I mean, it is really the kind. I put one on Genren 3, and we were so impressed with it, I had to go get one for Genren.
Well, thanks, Mark. What about your schedule for Genren and this summer and fall and spring and such? Are you filling up?
We're filling up pretty fast. Spring is still open, and it appears like we might have a really good yellowtail season. Sardines are really piling up and down the shoreline. I'm just watching the pelicans bust on them out here every morning. So that's a really good sign. The water's been warm, and it's just plummeting now. It's going down a few notches, which I think is going to attract the greenback mackerel. When the mackerel show, the yellowtail are going to show, and it's going to be a good spring. So yeah, we're busy. We're probably 55 to 60. We're almost 60% booked for the 2015 season. So there is space, but people should jump on it now. Another thing I just added to both boats this year, just keep continuing to try to raise the bar. We're putting Wi-Fi. We will have Wi-Fi available for our guests on both boats.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's crazy.
That's awesome, Mark.
Good for you,
Mark, Happy New Year to you. Genren, teamgenren.com is where you can book right online, right?
That's it.
And we'll see you at the Fred Hall shows.
For sure. Can't wait.
All right. Thanks
See
for
you,
the
Mark.
update on that Simrad Electronics, and we'll get more information there as we go forward there. But thanks for the call this morning. Let's try and sneak in a real quick tribute report from Jonathan. Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning, guys.
We only have about 30 seconds left. Did you catch them?
Yeah, we caught them bluefin, Outer Banks, U.S. waters.
So cool.
The key to game bit was 15-pound fluoro and a small hook.
Whoa. A little finesse fishing.
How cool to be on the boat, Jonathan, in January and have 24 bluefin on board.
You know, January, it was unreal. Flat, calm weather and bluefin breezing around the boat. I was in disbelief the entire time.
Good for you, man.
Appreciate that report, Jonathan. Appreciate that. You going to go again?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we went on this trip thinking it was going to be a rock cod, and we ended up coming home with bluefin. And also, shout out to Fisherman's Processing. We just got all of our bluefin processed and vacuum sealed up, so it looks like it's really nice quality fish.
You already got your fish
well
done,
tonight.
cut, vacuum packed, and you're on the way home.
On the way home.
And you guys got in this morning.
Yep.
How cool is that?
All
That's
right.
awesome. Well,
Thanks
nice
for the
going,
report.
Jonathan. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out what lucky guy got himself that AFTCO Alejo's belt, as well as those great AFTCO fishing gloves. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the mighty 1090.
When customers return, you must be doing it right. At least, that is what we believe on Royal Star. This is Captain Tim Ekstrom. My partners, Randy Toussaint, Brian Sims, and I will not only take you to the finest fishing destinations, but we deliver the highest quality RSW product, pioneering the finest fresh fish storage system in the San Diego long-range fleet. Royal Star has a limited number of openings on our year-round schedule, with most anglers returning year after year. If you want to fish with the best, make your reservation now on Royal Star. Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764. We look forward to fishing with you.
For Rancho Leonero, here's John Ireland.
You know, it's interesting because the ranch has probably a higher percentage than most of the hotels of guests that don't fish. And it's nice on the beach. We've got the beautiful reef right in front of the hotel that you can dive on. And that swimming pool is right there hanging over the water, and it's a very popular spot as well. And the kids tend to bunch up, and the wives tend to get to be friends. And what's happened over the years is a lot of families met down at the ranch and got to be friends and planned their vacations so they come down at the same time. We're kind of unique for the fact I think we're really the last of the old Baja fishing style hotels. So we're proud of that, and we're going to hang on to that image. We're going to be around for the next couple decades at least. At Rancho Leonero, we don't want to be bigger. We want to be better. We keep it simple, old Baja style. Rancho Leonero, we get a lot of guests that come back 2 or 3 times a year. RanchoLeonero.com.
It's a big day in Mission Bay. Saturday, January 17th. Dana Landing will host a Big Bay Bass Seminar and Sale, and Fast Lane Kayaks right next door will join the fun with all the new models of Hobie kayaks. Fast Lane is sponsoring the kayak division of the tournament, and they'll have their top pros in attendance to give you hot tips to win the big money. You can check out the new models of Hobie kayaks, including the new Pro Angler, new Mirage Drive Outbacks, and more. See the latest fishing accessories for your kayak one day only, Saturday, January 17th. At Fast Lane Kayaks at Dana Landing across from SeaWorld in Mission Bay. Check FastLaneSailing.com. Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Right, the big winner of the AFTCO package, including that belt and the short pump long range gloves, is going to our last caller, Jonathan in San Diego. Called at the very end and just snuck in there to win a cool prize.
Yeah, indeed. You're going to love that stuff. And Derek, always a pleasure to have you. We're glad to hear that you're on the track to be back on the Red Rooster 3.
Well, thank you very much, and I just want to say, I owe it all to Donna and the girls at Pacific Water Therapy in Point Loma. Without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Yeah,
that's my recovery. So I just want to say thank you to them. And if you guys have any questions about the Red Rooster 3, you can call the office at 619-224-3857 or check us out at redrooster3.com. And, we do. We have a face space. We have a Facebook. You can check us out on Facebook and look to the up-to-date hour-for-hour reports.
Yeah, Red Rooster, the number 3.
The number 3.com.
And you can always link it through the Let's Talk Hookup website, too. Derek,
yes.
A pleasure.
Yeah, great
Thanks.
job,
We'll look
Derek.
forward to seeing you back
you
on the
guys.
Red Rooster 3, and we'll look forward to having you back right here with us next Saturday and Sunday. Going to be a great weekend of shows. Next Saturday, Bill Varney, surf fishing expert, going to be right here talking surf fishing. And then next Sunday, the president of Shimano for his annual visit, our good buddy Dave Pfeiffer, is going to be right here talking all the latest and greatest from Shimano. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right here on the Mighty 1090. And stay tuned because Bike Week Radio is next.